welcome back to the Cock Dice. And tonight we're playing Batman Miniature Game version 3. But actually, more specifically, we're going to play this Start Here book. I received this back in April for my birthday. Just after it came out, I was lucky enough to get a copy from a local game shop. I painted it up April, May-ish, and it's sat in the cabinet since then. And I thought now was an ideal time for me to kind of walk through the start guide and do some videos of how you play, how I've learned to play, and just see how it plays out. And hopefully we'll be able to continue these as we get out of various isolation things. So first of all, I've never played Batman. I didn't play the first or the second version of the game, so this is really new to me. I'm really looking forward to trying it out. I've had a read through the rulebook and the Start Here book, but for now I will give you an overview of the game I'm going to play. We are starting with Chapter 1, Welcome to Funland. The Joker's warning created the desired effect. As soon as the broadcast ended, GCPD HQ became a hive of activity. Stanley Merkel and Harvey Bullock gathered a large force of police officers and headed out to the abandoned amusement park at the city's industrial district. Ignoring the Joker's dire warning, the cops smashed down the gates and entered the park mob-handed. It was quiet as the grave. No lights, no music, just a clinking of chains and the groaning of rusted metal on a night air. For a moment, Bullock thought he'd got the wrong place. Then, in the dark shadows, pale faces appeared, clown masks, and lots of them. The cops were surrounded. So this is the absolute intro scenario to the rules. It uses the following models. We've got GCPD Cop 1, Officer Merkel, and Sergeant Harvey Bullock. The Joker crew is Thug 1, Thug 4 and Thug 5, and I will give them slightly more exciting names in the game. I've got a shortened setup just for this game. I've set up on a 2x2 mat with a bit of space between the models and some of the terrain from the box. The game duration is 4 rounds, and the only objective in play is that all rival crews are knocked out or removed as casualties. As this is the stripped down rules, we won't be using any of the objective cards, and we won't be using some of the more advanced movement and cover rules. We are literally playing the first scenario and trying it out. So let's go over to the board and we'll see how tonight's game goes. So here we are, all set up for the night's game. On the far side over here we have the Joker's crew, and on this side down here we have the cops entering. Each side has 3 audacity markers because there's only 3 models on each side. And onto the game sequence. So each game round, so there's 4 rounds to the game, is broken down into 4 phases, and these are as follows. We've got take the lead, raise the plan, execute the plan, and recount. So the first phase is take the lead. So the players determine in which order they will proceed during the rest of the round. Each player rolls 1 die, and the player with the highest score has the initiative. So I'm going to roll 2 dice. The blue dice is the GCPD cops, the white dice is the Joker's crew. So in this round, the GCPD have the initiative. Next, we raise the plan. So each player will take 4 audacity markers, or in our case 3 each, and each model gets 1. Now, audacity markers are a special type of marker that allow your characters to make an additional action, or additional actions. After we've raised the plan, we're on to execute the plan. So players activate their models one at a time, beginning with the player with the initiative. I think first up we're going to activate Officer Merkel, Stanley Merkel. So looking at his card, he has a movement of 10 inches. He's also armed with a riot gun, which does 2 stun damage, is a rate of fire of 2, and has 3 ammo. Now, if he moves and then shoots, he's going to be at a disadvantage. So I think for this first turn, he's just going to move up and take some cover. So he's got a 10-inch move, which will get him all the way over to this hut here. And he takes his audacity marker with him. Now he's not going to spend that this turn, as he's got nothing else to do. Play then proceeds over to the Joker's crew. And I think in this case we'll activate the axe-wielding thug. He comes down over here. He's only moved 5 inches to here, although he has a movement of 8. And again, he's not going to spend his audacity there. So he's got himself a nice bit of cover behind this little billboard sign here. Okay, so play is back to the GCPD cops. We'll use Harvey Bullock first. He has a movement of 8, and he's going to come across here like that. Now he's going to spend his audacity marker and make a shooting attack on this axe thug over here. So let's get the shooting attack right this time. So first of all, he spends an ammo. So he's got 3 ammo, he's down to 2 now. He then looks at the rate of fire of the weapon, which is 2. So he rolls 2 white dice, and then he gains a blue dice as the strength dice. Now he's moved, which means he reduces his rate of fire by 2. So he throws the strength dice away first, and then he throws one of the dice away. So he's rolling a single dice for this. He needs to roll equal to or higher than the attacker's defense value. So he rolls a 2. The defense of the axe thug is 3, and so that shot misses. So that's the end of Bullock's activation. We'll go back to villains now. So I think actually the best option is going to be activate the little scrawny knife thug here instead. He's got a knife, it's sharp, he has a movement of 10. So that movement is easily far enough to move over here, and he's going to attempt to knife Sergeant Officer Merkel there. So combat works slightly differently to shooting. You get a defense roll on top of your attack roll. So in this case, we're going to look at the attacks value of the character, which in this case is 3. He's got a knife which does 1 blood damage, and it has the sharp effect. The sharp effect allows me to re-roll the strength dice. We also have the ability to spend effort. Effort allows us to roll more or less dice. Now, Officer Merkel has a defense value of 3, so he would roll 3 dice normally. He's going to spend an effort to gain a 4th defense dice. And for that, he takes 1 stun marker. Now, the thug's feeling pretty brave. He's going to spend 2 to gain 2 additional dice. So he's rolling 5 dice plus the strength dice, and he gets to re-roll the strength dice if it misses. Now, the strength dice has to get a 5 or more to do a hit. All the other dice require a 3 or more. That's a good strike. So the 1s automatically fail, so we remove those. So we have 4 hits in total. So the blue dice, the strength dice, cannot be blocked by Officer Merkel, so he's automatically taking 1 blood damage. He then has 3 more hits. Now he has a defense of 3. He spent an effort to gain an extra dice, so he has 4 dice to attempt to block these. So Officer Merkel needs to roll equal to or over the knife thug's attack value, which in this case is 3. So you need 3s or more to block the hits. And he rolls an appalling result there. He gets a single 3, which means he blocks 1 of the 3 hits and misses with the other 3. None of those are high enough to block the hits. So Merkel will take 2 more damage. And that trade-off's done, and he has spent his audacity marker. It's back to the GCPD cops, and we've got the cop 1, so flashlight cop here. Now he has a movement of 8, which is just about long enough to get over here, and he's going to attempt to make use of the fact this thug already has some stun damage on him. So he's going to spend his audacity to make the attack roll. Now the thug is going to, first of all, has to decide whether he's going to spend any effort. He's going to spend 2 because the cop has 2 attacks. No, he's going to spend 1. We're going to buy 1 extra defense. So he's going to be rolling 4 defense in a minute. The cop's quite keen. He is going to effort as well. He's going to spend 2 to gain 2 additional dice. So the cop is going to roll 4 dice plus his strength dice for the attack, and he gets to re-roll his misses. The thug will roll 4 dice in his defense. So in this case, we've missed with 2 attacks. Now, does Handy allow me to re-roll my strength dice? Now, as I read it, I don't think I can re-roll the strength dice because that's a specific dice. So we're going to just roll these 2 attack dice again. Okay, he scores a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 1 fails automatically. So we take the strength dice and a 1 away. The thug's defense value is 3, so we've got 3 solid hits there. And the thug will now make his defense roll. He needs to roll equal to or higher than the GCPD's attack value, which in this case is 2. So he failed with 1 and successfully defended 3 attacks. So the cop's attacks all bounce off him. And finally, we have the thug with guns, a gunman thug over at the back there. Now he hasn't got a huge amount to do. He was hoping that he'd get some openings for shooting. I think he's just going to make a move down to the back of the hut here, and he will not spend his audacity. So that ends the executing the plan phase, and we'll move on to the recount phase. So in this phase, models that are not knocked out remove 1 stun damage marker from their characters. So he removes 1, he removes 1, he removes 1. You take those off. We would normally check for the objectives for the scenario. At this point, nobody's down and out, so it doesn't really matter just yet. And that is the end of the turn, and we go into round 2. We should start with a take the lead roll, so that's initiative roll. Blue dice for the cops, white for the Joker. Cops win again. We've done the audacity markers for the round, so we've raised the plan, and we're straight into executing the plan phase. Now the cops have the lead. Let's have a quick look across the board. Bullock's in a little bit of an exposed position here. We've got 2 cops ganging up on the thug there. I think because this thug has only got, he's got 5 willpower, so we only need to do 4 more damage to him to totally take him out. So I think we've got a reasonable chance of that. I think we'll activate GCPD Cop 1 first of all. So first of all, the thug decides whether he's not going to spend any effort. He's going to spend a single effort and gain 1 marker. The cop has 2 dice normally. He gets a strength dice as well. He's going to go all out. And in fact, no, he's going to add 2 more efforts to it. That will give him 4 dice plus the strength dice. And he makes his roll. He can re-roll the 1. 4. So he has done 4 successful hits to the thug, as all those dice are higher than the thug's defense value of 3. The thug makes his defense roll. Now he gets a pair of 1s, which automatically fail. And he's looking to score a 2 or higher, which means he's blocked 2 of the attacker's attacks. That's just complicated. And he will gain 2 more stun. Back over to the Joker's crew. We're going to activate Thug 1 before he runs out of steam. He's going to attempt to shank Officer Merkel here, who's already, he's got 3 damage. 3 more damage will take him out of the game. Now Officer Merkel doesn't particularly want to be stabbed repeatedly by a thug, so he's going to spend some effort. He's going to spend 2 efforts to buy him 2 additional dice. So he has got a total of 5 defense dice here. The thug can't spend any more efforts because he's on 5 stun already, and he's only got a willpower of 5, and he can't knock himself out through efforting. So he's only going to get 3 dice plus his strength dice. So the strength dice scores a hit, we score 1 other hit, and we have 2 misses. Next we'll roll Officer Merkel's defense dice. There is 5 dice there. 1 hit essentially. These are looking to score a 3 or higher, so we have 4. So we have successfully defended the 1 hit. However, you can't block the strength dice, and Officer Merkel will take another blood damage. So that's the end of his activation. We'll return to the GCPD cops, and we're going to activate Harvey Bullock. Now Harvey Bullock has a pretty good shot at this thug over here, who is slightly obscured, and the other thug, we're drawing a line over this bit of terrain, so he's also going to, so we're going to shoot at the closest one first of all. So he's going to spend an ammo, and he has a rate of fire of 2, and he gains an additional dice. So the strength die when using it always hits on a 2. So the strength dice in this case hits, 1 hit from his additional attack, and 1 dice is discarded. So we have 2 hits there. That does a blood and a stun damage each. So that's 2 blood, 2 stun. Just pop them down there. Harvey Bullock is then going to make a move action. He's going to move himself. He's got an 8-inch move. He's going to move himself right over here. Spin behind his mates, spending his audacity. Okay, it returns to the Joker's crew. We have Axe Thug and we have Gunman. I'm going to leave the Gunman for now. We'll see what happens here. I think the Axe Thug is going to activate next. He's got a movement of 8. He's going to bring himself round to this brawl here. Now he can't move far enough to get Merkel, but he can come and get GCPD Cop 1. Let's move these around a little bit. So he's going to spend his Audacity to make an attack as his second action. So GCPD Cop first of all needs to decide if he's going to spend any effort. Now the axe does blood damage, of course, because it's a great big axe. So he can possibly spend 1 willpower, and I think he will spend that to gain an extra defense. So he gets a defense of 4. The Axe Thug has 2 stun already. He's got 3 attacks, 1 strength dice. He's going to effort once as well to gain an extra dice. And we'll see how well this goes. The attack roll first of all doesn't go well. Now the axe is handy and heavy, so handy allows him to re-roll his misses, and heavy gains +1 to his strength dice roll. So that strength dice is actually a 3, not a 2. Unfortunately, that's not high enough. So the strength dice misses. These 4 dice are all higher than the target's defense, so we have 4 hits from the Axe Thug. So GCPD Cop 1 with a flashlight is going to make a defense roll. He's got 4 defense dice. He's looking to beat the attacker's attack value, which is 3. He gets 3 successes and 1 failure. So he reduces the damage down by 3 and he takes a single point of blood damage. Finally, on the GCPD side, we have Officer Merkel. He is going to do a close combat attack against the Knife Thug here. So he doesn't have a close combat weapon, so it's an unarmed attack. He has 3 attack dice plus a defense. The Thug can't effort, so I think Merkel's going to attempt to... I literally need to do 1 stun damage to him. I think we'll effort once. Buy myself an extra dice, take him to a 4 dice attack plus 1 strength dice. Oof. That is a dreadful, dreadful roll. He gets a single success there. So the Thug is going to make a defense roll on 3 dice. He's looking to equal or beat a 3. He scores 1 success there and successfully defends Merkel's flailings over the barrier. So the last move of this turn is the Gunman Thug at the back here. He's going to make a move around to the back here like that, and then he's going to spend his Audacity. So he has a special trait that allows him to activate this trait and perform a ranged attack. This gains an extra ranged action. The Gunman Thug is going to shoot at a Bullock. So he's got a defense of 3, so we're looking to get 3 or higher there. Roll 2 dice, we get a single success. These shots do a blood and a stun damage onto Bullock. We'll add them over there. And his second shot from his other pistol will roll again. He gets another success, so that moves up to 2. So that's the end of that phase, and we move into the recount phase. So we reduce the stun on all our models. And we move on to the next turn. So we're now into turn 3. First part of the turn is raise the plan. So we're going to make an initiative roll. This time the Joker's Thugs win the initiative. Sorry, let's take the lead. Now we'll raise the plan and just reassign out any spent Audacity. There we go. And we're going to start off with the attacks from... we're going to start off with the Joker's crew. I think we're going to do the Knife Thug first, simply because he's literally got 2 stun he can take. So if he gets a lamp in with a tonfa, he's going to go out. So he is going to attempt to shank Officer Merkel here. So Merkel, again, doesn't particularly want to get shanked, so he's going to take 2 stuns to get 2 extra defense. The Thug can only effort once, so he's going to effort once. to buy himself a 4th dice. So he has a 4 dice attack plus a strength dice. Oh, that's an excellent attack from the knife-wielding thug there. All of those are successes. We don't need to do any re-rolls. So we have 1 unblockable and 4 successes. Officer Merkel will make a defence roll. He's got 3 defence normally. He adds 2 to it. We roll those. He's looking at getting a 3 or more. So we have 2 failures and 3 successes there. So he reduces that down to a single success from the knife thug. So the knife thug does 1 blood damage for his initial attack and 1 blood damage for his strength dice. And that takes Merkel up to 6 blood damage. Now Officer Merkel has an endurance of 5. So he's now exceeded endurance and he is lying on the floor bleeding to death. So that's a great start to the round from our Joker's crew. So we're going to activate, should we activate that? No, I think we'll activate the Tonfa cop here, flashlight cop first, because I suspect he might be taking a chunk of damage in a second. He's going to lamp Axe Thug. So he has 2 attacks and 1 strength dice. Axe Thug is going to effort once in an attempt to block the damage, and so he will have a defense of 4. The cop, he's fairly keen to take this guy out, so he's going to effort once, and because most of the enemies do only blood damage, I think we're quite safe doing that. So he's going to buy himself a 3rd attack dice and 1 strength dice. Makes a roll. He also has a pretty successful roll. They have all hit, however the strength dice misses. Defense roll for the thug. He's looking at getting 2s or more. He scores 4 successes and blocks all of the Tonfa hits. So there's no damage dealt there. That is the end of the GCPD's activation. It's back over to the villains, and I think we're going to go with Gunman Thug over here. He's going to spend his audacity and do his special action again, which means he can shoot both of his pistols one at a time. So the first pistol is rate of fire 3. He's not moving, so he gets his full attack. It's a firearm, so the strength dice always hits on a 2. Short range light. Okay, so he's going to shoot at Bullock. So we need 3s to hit, and the blue dice need a 2. So we've missed twice with his shooting there, but we have gained 1 hit and 1 strength dice hit. So that's 2 hits. That gives another 2 blood, 2 stun to Bullock. And then he'll use his second gun as well, and he's now out of ammo to do exactly the same again. So we've missed and missed, so we have 2 hits there. That does another 2 blood, another 2 stun. And that takes Bullock up to 6 blood and 5 stun. Now, Bullock's endurance is 6, so he's just in the game, but only just. 1 more point of blood damage and he will be out, which is a bit of a pity. So it's back to our GCPD crew now. I think Bullock's going to go next. He's not going to be able to save these guys. He's going to take a shot at this thug over here. He's going to spend his last ammo. Now he has a rate of fire of 2 plus a blue dice. He's looking at getting a 3 or more or a 2 on the blue dice. So we've hit a single time. That does 1 blood, 1 stun damage. It's back over to Joker's crew. We'll do the axe wielding thug next. He's going to attack the Tonfa cop. He has 3 attacks and 1 dice. Now the cop has got 4 stun damage, so he cannot effort anymore. The thug has 3. He can effort once. So we'll do that. He'll push himself right up. Try and take the cop out in one go. Now his axe is handy and heavy. I can re-roll failed attack dice rolls, and he gets +1 to his strength. So the strength dice becomes a 3, and we have 3 failed attacks. No, we don't. We have 1 failed attack there. So there we go. So we failed in the strength dice, but we gained 4 successes. from his normal dice, normal attack dice. GCPD cop has 3 defense dice. He's looking to get 3s or more. He scores 2, so reduces that by 2. And he takes 4 blood damage from that attack. 2 for each hit. That takes him up to 5 blood. And that's the end of the round. And we're going to do the recounts phase. So we remove a stun, remove a stun, remove a stun, remove a stun, remove a stun. And then we are into the 4th and final round of the game. And we'll make an initiative roll, blue for the cops. Looks like the Joker's crew have managed it again, which is really, really good. We'll add some audacity markers, though they don't make a huge difference in this game. We're not doing an awful lot. And we're going to start with the axe-wielding thug here. He's going to swing his axe and make an attempt at taking out the flashlight cop. So he has 3 attacks plus 1 strength dice. The cop has 3 stuns, so he's going to take an extra stun to grab himself an extra defense. And the thug will also take 1 to grab himself an extra dice in the attack. So he's got 4 dice, 1 strength dice, and he makes his roll. He gets +1 to his strength dice, which doesn't do anything, and he can re-roll that 1 there. So again, we've got 4 hits there from the Axeman. And the cop has 4 defense dice. And he's looking to get 3s or more. He blocked 3 of them, which means a single attack goes through onto the cop, doing 2 blood damage. That takes the cop up to 7 blood damage in total, and that will take him out of the game. So it's now the GCPD turn. We only have Bullock to go here. He's going to make a move action to here to get into contact and take all the millions of markers with him. He'll spend his audacity and he's going to punch the axe-wielding thug there. So it's an unarmed attack, so he gets to use his attack value, which is 3 plus 1 strength dice. The axe-wielding thug is already on 4 stun damage, so he cannot effort anymore. Bullock is on 4, so he can effort up to twice more, so he will do that. To gain 2 extra dice and attempt to go down fighting here. He makes his roll. He doesn't get any special rules at all, and his strength 5 plus that fails, so he has scored 3 hits there. So the defense roll for the thug with an axe, he's got 3 defense. He's looking to score a 3 or higher. He scores a 3 or higher on all 3 dice. He successfully defends that attack. That was a bit of a pity. Okay, it's back to the Joker's crew, and I think the easiest one to do here is knife thug is going to move over there, and he's going to spend his audacity to shank poor old Bullock. Now Bullock cannot take any more stun damage, so he can't effort to gain any extra dice, so he's stuck with his defense value of 3. The knife thug has a willpower of 4, so he also can't do it, so it's a straight roll. 3 dice plus a strength dice. Oh, and it's a good hit. So we have 3 successes and a strength dice success there. So I think Bullock's going down now. Bullock will take a defense roll. He blocks all 3 of the normal attacks. However, he can't block the strength dice attack, and so he takes a single blood damage, which takes Bullock up to 7 blood and removes him from the game. So there we have it. That is the first scenario in the Start Here book. Unfortunately for the GCPD cops, clearly the element of surprise and some very sharp blades had the advantage tonight. That is our first game of Batman Miniatures game. As always, thank you very much for joining us here at the Cock Dice. Hope you enjoyed the game tonight. Please subscribe to the channel, click the little button below and that will do that for you. And here's another couple of videos you might enjoy to while away your weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Good night.